So thanks for joining me today. I've got a very quick unboxing and a quick review of a cheap continuous studio lighting kit. What I'm going to do is show you how easy they are to set up, what you get, what the results are like. I'll actually film with them. This is a cheap kit. It cost me £76.99, which I think is about $120. I got this on eBay. I'll leave links down below in the description. So I'm going to take everything out of the box. You'll see what we get, and then we'll actually set these up and use them. Just before I do that, the reason I've got this particular set is it has about 4 or 5 times the power of the lights I'm using here. In a previous video, you'll be able to see on the link here, I bought a cheap continuous lighting set, but it only uses a single bulb on each of the 2 lights. This actually has 4 bulbs, so it's about 4 times the power, which is twice, in photographic terms, that's 2 stops difference. I'm filming at 1600 ISO. With this, I should be able to film at 400 ISO and still get good results, but at that ISO I should get cleaner video. So it will be very interesting to compare the 2 types of lights. What you're seeing now is the old lights. I'm going to use those in future to light the background, which will give better separation. So this actually arrived, I think it was about 3 days, so although I guess they're from China, they must have a warehouse in the UK. I'm just going to get my son to check whether I'm still in shot. Now I've stood up. Not quite? Okay. There's a ton of packaging here. So, wow. Let's have a look. So I've got 8 of these bulbs. I'm just going to take these out. What I'll do now is stop the video, empty the box, and then show you everything once I put it on the table. So I've got 2 sets of softboxes. I'll show you one, but there are 2 sets. 2 lighting stands. Let's have a look at the stand. I think these are fairly cheap, but they'll be, if they're like the ones I've had in the past, they'll be fairly decent. Yeah, that looks okay to me. I'll show you this close-ups, you know, for the actual height and so on later. I get 4 of these adapters. I guess that is so depending on whichever country you're in, you're good to go. That's a UK style plug. That's I think that's either Japanese or American style. So I have 2 lights but 4 adapters, so 2 of each type. Oh, so that's travel adapter in case you're actually traveling with your setup. Oh well, yeah. Now the bulbs are 115 watt. They're the low energy type, which means that's the equivalent, I think, of about a 400 or 500 watt bulb. So with the 8 of them in total, that's about 4,000 watts of light, but it only uses 1,000 watts of energy. And I'm going to need a knife to get into that. I'll show you the bulb later. I'll do a close-up of that. And then we actually have the lighting unit, so we've got to assemble these, which I'm going to do in a moment. Let's have a look what we get. Yep, and because of the plug on this, that's why I need the adapter. That makes sense. Okay. And what I've dropped on the floor, so they're probably now smashed, is some spare fuses. That's good to know. They give you fuses as well. I'll keep those safe. So let me actually do this now. So the softbox, let's have a look at that. I'll just do this one, and the Velcro is going all over, which is fairly typical. And now this is the type that I'm not keen on, because it has control rods that you have to fit into. Yeah, there are spaces within here, so you have to assemble this. I'll try to show you close-up photos of that. It just means there's a little bit more work to set it up. That's all. And then I should have the diffuser in here, which I do, so that will soften the light and give a more even spread. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll pause the video, I'll set this up, and then I'll show you the results, and I'll actually do close-ups of the unit being assembled so that you can see what it's like. It probably only takes a minute. I may leave the camera rolling while I do it, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay. In fact, let me do that. Let me see if I can assemble this in situ. I'll apologise in case the focus is going out. I'm actually set to focus when I'm sitting right up to the table, but of course I'm not at the moment, so it's possible that it's going out of focus slightly, but there should still be enough detail for you to see what's going on. So let's have a look. Do all the unwrappings. We'll fit this onto the stand, and then I'm going to attach this first part of the softbox. And actually what I'm going to do is bring the camera in closer to see whether we can show you better what I'm doing. So I'm going to pause the camera now while I do that, and then we'll continue a little bit closer. So what I'm going to do, and I've got to think about this while I'm doing it, I'm going to fit this and somehow attach these rods, which I don't know if you can see, into here. I don't know where they go, in fact. Let me stand up and have a look, because I haven't tried this yet. Now there are no instructions. I should be able to figure it out, but I'm just guessing as I go. Where would the lights go? Do you know, honestly, I have no idea where this goes. There doesn't appear to be anything else to connect it. That does seem strange. There is a photograph that shows you how to connect it, so let's have a look. Let me just see if I can turn this round for you so that you see. Let me check the framing on this. See if we got that in shot. Is that in shot? Okay. Yeah, actually, once you figure out what to do, it's not too bad. I just made a mess of it to begin with. And I think I would also probably put this back like that so it's easier for me to get in there. Yep. And it looks as if there's enough tension when they're seated properly to hold everything into place. Yeah, so that's done now. What I'm going to do is connect up the back so that we're not getting in any light leakage. Yeah. So that's done. What I'll do now is connect the light. Well, the 4 lights. I'm going to do the same with the other one, and then we'll actually turn these on and we can see what the impact is by lowering the ISO on the camera, because we've got higher light output. So in this section of the video, what I've got the 2 new lights, although I think 2 of the bulbs were only on half power for some reason. I think they've actually come on now, and I've seen a difference already just looking through the viewfinder. I'm now shooting at ISO 400. I was shooting at ISO 1600. Can you see a difference? I haven't put the old lights on the background yet because I need to find some extension sockets to plug them in. I have used one of the old lights just here, just a little bit more than arm's length, to give me more light to this side of the face to create some depth, which is a better thing to do in video if you can. Can you compare the 2? What do you think? I'd love to hear what you think of the difference in the videos, particularly if you watch in 1080p. If you're not watching in 1080p, why not click that button down there and change to full high def and full screen, just so you can see the difference between this part and the earlier part. Is there much difference in quality? I think so, looking at the viewfinder, personally. The lights are very bright. I mean, if I look directly at them, it's quite awkward. But of course, I'm looking at the camera, so that's fine. I think these are good lights for the money. About nearly £80, about $120. Very powerful. I do have independent switches on the back so that I can have 2 bulbs or 4 bulbs all at one time on each of the 2 units. So if I wanted to go to half power for some reason, I could do that. In fact, what I will do, I'll get my son to do that now on that unit. Just turn off any of the switches, Ben, and you should see an instant difference in the lighting. Have you turned off one of the switches? No, you haven't. The light should go off. No. The two top switches? Okay. Right, so now I've got only two lights on that side. The video may be a little bit dark. I'll just ask Ben to check. How does it look?
A lot darker.
A lot darker. Okay, there's half power there. So this side should certainly be in the dark. This side should still be exposed correctly. I don't know. I'll see the video later. You're seeing it now, of course. I'll put the lights back on, please, if you would. And instantly you can see the difference again. I can see that difference. So for the money, I think it's great. I've got them fairly close. If I brought them even closer, I could probably reduce this to 200 ISO. I would say they're about 5 feet away from me. Depending on your working space, you may need them to be further or closer away. And if you're doing it as fill-in for daylight shots, I'm in a studio, of course. If you're doing it for fill-in in daylight, then you may not need them on full power. And if you're doing it for accent lighting, then again, you may not need full power. One thing I've realized is that the fluorescent lights are on here, which I think gives a bit of a color tinge. So I'm going to ask Ben to see if he can find the light switches to turn those off, so that when they go off, the only lighting will be these continuous lights that I've just talked about. So, has he found them? We're not sure where the lighting is, because we don't normally change the lighting in the studio. We just deal with our own lighting here. So just, if we can turn those fluorescents off, that would be great, Paul. Oh, they're around the back. It's a big studio, so the lighting switches are miles away. There we go, they're off now. I don't know how this looks at this point. I'm going to have a look in a moment. You're seeing it now, of course. The only lighting I've got are the daylight balanced energy saving lamps that I've got on me. Hopefully the color balance will be better. I may need to adjust the white balance for that. I'm currently on custom white balance, but what I will do for the next section, or the next video anyway, we're about to finish this video. What I will do for the next video is shoot with auto daylight settings, which theoretically these lights should already be balanced for. Okay, why not subscribe while you're here? That way you won't miss any of the future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.